Once you know your way broadly, you see it in all things, and everything in life helps you in advancing on your way. Welcome everybody. What inspired Joe was a quote by Miyamoto Musashi that he read when he was 16. Once you know your way broadly, you see it in all things. Everything that you do, everything that you encounter, every problem, every obstacle, helps you in developing your full human potential. And he gives the example of skateboarding. The skills that you acquire while mastering skateboarding, you can also apply to playing the piano. For example, the discipline that you have to put into it. And when we look at Miyamoto Musashi's life, he was not only a master swordsman, he was also a master in the way of the tea, he was a master in calligraphy, and even in the way of poetry and no drama. Because this is what this quote is ultimately about, to realize that everything is connected, and that everything matters and is part of your training. And there's a great example I want to talk about. Steve Jobs gave a graduation speech a couple of years ago, and he also talked about how all things are connected. And he said, you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. And he talked about how he joined a class in calligraphy, and at the time he was just doing it because he was passionate about it. But a couple of years later, when he worked on Apple and creating the first Mac, he used the skills that he learned in a class about design and applied it to the first Mac. But at the time of taking the class, he never thought that these skills may become useful one day, but he could leverage his experience and skills looking backwards. It shows when you know your way and you're passionate about it, everything in life helps you advancing on your way, even though it may not be obvious at the moment. And Jobs said that believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference. And having thought about this quote by Miyamoto Musashi, I reflected on my personal life and tried to see the connections between all the different things that I was doing and how they would complement each other. For example, I play the guitar, and in my way of mastering the guitar, I realized that the best guitarists that I know do not practice until they get it right, they practice until they cannot get it wrong. And this very important rule that I learned playing the guitar, I also apply to my work. For example, before giving a company presentation, I would rehearse and rehearse and rehearse until I could not get it wrong. And practicing my presentations like I was practicing the guitar helped me in giving the best presentations I could and being the most convincing in these crucial moments when it mattered the most. So looking backwards, it makes sense that playing the guitar helped me also in work, but at the time I was just having fun enjoying playing the guitar. Another example is music production. During COVID, I started learning how to produce music, and in the process I learned to use the music software, which, a couple of years later, I now use to record my voice for my videos. Even though back then I would have never thought that I would start a YouTube channel, I now benefit from the skills that I learned a couple of years ago from music production. And it now helps me to connect with you guys and to talk about topics with you that I'm passionate about. Another example is skydiving. Skydiving taught me to be calm under pressure. And it taught me that being nervous, being anxious, or being tense does not help at all. It only makes things more difficult. It taught me that you can only do your best when you're calm in your body and your mind. And this skill helped me to be calm in high-stakes situations, whether it's in my private life, in my work life, for example when dealing with difficult problems or people. And having thought about Musashi's quote, I now realized that every single problem I encountered in my life helped me to become a better human being, helped me to become stronger, and helped me in following my way. But if we look at the first part of the quote, Musashi says, once you know your way broadly. So what if we don't know our way yet? I would refer back to what Jobs said, just trust that the dots will connect in the future. Because the only thing that we can do is to follow our hearts and roll with it. And once we follow our hearts, we know our way. And once we know our way, we see it in everything. What do you think about this? Do you agree or do you think it's total BS? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.